Have you ever thought about this? Most of the biggest blows in your life didn't come from what happened to you. They came from the words that came out of your mouth. In a moment of anger, you ended a relationship. In a moment of distraction, you shared a secret. Because of one sentence, you lost an opportunity. No one stabbed you in the back. Most of the time, you left yourself exposed. Wrong people. Too many words. If you're still wondering why you're not where you want to be, look a little closer at what you say. Because what keeps most people trapped in the same cycles is not what they lived, but how they keep telling that story to themselves. Some words cannot be taken back. And sometimes your greatest enemy isn't outside, it's your own tongue. Real power is not silencing others. It is being able to control your own words. This video exists for that reason. Not to suppress your emotions, but to help you use your language consciously. Every word that leaves your mouth either makes you freer or tightens your chains a little more. If you want, do something small right now. Write this in the comments. From today on, I speak only to move forward. This isn't magic, but it's the first seed you plant in your mind. Because what you repeat is what you become. As Epictetus said, most people become slaves to the things they say. The wise choose instead to become masters of silence. Why talking about your past keeps you stuck? Talking about what you've been through can feel good at first, like you're releasing a burden. But there is a subtle trap here. Every time you tell that story, your mind carves it deeper. After a while, those events stop being memories. They become your identity. I always go through things like this. My life is always hard. And without realizing it, you lock yourself inside that story. Some people can't even start a conversation without talking about their problems. At first it looks like emotional honesty. But over time, they become attached to their pain. Because pain gives them a role. I'm the victim. I've had a hard life. And letting go of that role is terrifying. Because if the problem is always outside, you never have to change anything inside. But what if one day you asked, what if I talked about my dreams instead of my problems? What if I spoke more about what excites me instead of what limits me? That's when your mind starts to look in a new direction. That's where real change begins. Your mind believes what it hears. Your mind is a story-making machine. Whatever you tell it, it takes as truth. I'm unlucky. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. They sound like sentences, but they are actually commands. Epictetus said, "What disturbs us is not what happens to us, but what we think about what happens." If you say every day, "My life is hard," your mind will build you a hard life. But even in chaos, if you say, "I am strong," your mind slowly starts to match that strength. That's why your words matter. Not to impress anyone, but because they build your life. Now we reach something very important. Because everything you say doesn't just describe you, it teaches people how to treat you. Every sentence is a silent instruction. Treat me like this. See me like this. Expect this from me. If you speak about yourself with insecurity, helplessness, or self-doubt, people begin to see you that way. They don't do it on purpose. But your energy, your posture, your words send that message. Someone who always complains, always feels powerless, always says, "I can't," slowly becomes seen as a victim. But someone who speaks calmly, clearly, and with confidence creates respect before they even finish a sentence. This isn't acting. This is self-command. When you shout in an argument, you are saying, "I lose control under pressure." But when you stay calm even while angry, you are saying, "I am not a slave to my emotions." And that builds trust. People trust those who can govern themselves. They respect those who stand steady in chaos. Why you shouldn't share your goals. When you start something new, you want to tell everyone, "I'm changing. I'm building a new life. This time it's serious." but your brain plays a trick on you. When you say it out loud, it feels like you've already done it. Your brain gives you a reward before you've earned it, and that kills real effort. Then come people's reactions. Some doubt you. Some praise you too early. Some project their fears onto you. And your fragile new beginning shakes before it ever grows roots. Real change is quiet. No one sees it. Until one day, everyone does. That's why the Stoics said, don't explain your philosophy. Live it. Why gossip poisons you. Talking about others behind their backs may seem harmless. Sometimes it even feels fun. But gossip stores poison in your mind. Every time you talk about someone else's flaws, a piece of your own character erodes. Because in a place where people gossip, no one is safe. Everyone knows. One day it will be their turn. And that silent fear destroys sincerity. Marcus Aurelius said, do not spread what you cannot correct. If you can't fix something, don't enlarge it with your mouth. Invest your energy not in others falling, but in your own rising. Why you shouldn't share your deepest fears. Some emotions are fragile. An unhealed fear is like an open wound. If you show it to the wrong people, it bleeds more. Not everyone has the maturity to understand you. Not everyone can hold your heart gently. So telling every feeling to everyone is not freedom. Sometimes it's self-betrayal. Here, silence is not escape. Silence is protection. Healed emotions can be shared. But wounds still bleeding must first become strong inside you. Now we've reached the heart of it all. Every word you speak doesn't just reach others, it reflects your inner world. If you can't control your language, you can't control your emotions. And if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your life. Knowing when to speak is power. Knowing when to be silent is also power. Some say, I just speak what's on my mind. But that's not honesty, that's lack of control. Honesty is expressing truth with awareness. Thoughtlessness is dumping inner chaos on others. Saying everything you feel is not courage. Real courage is knowing when and how to speak. Because impulsive words create the deepest regrets. One sentence spoken in anger can leave a wound that lasts years. Some words can never be taken back. That's why discipline is not just in actions, it is in speech. Not shouting when angry. Not attacking when hurt. Listening instead of defending. These are not weakness. They are mastery. Why silence heals the mind. When you're stressed, what do? Most people talk more. Explain more. Think more. But sometimes the thing you need most is to do nothing. To stop. To breathe. To be silent. Silence doesn't suppress emotions. It lets you actually hear them. When your mind is noisy, you can't decide. But when it becomes quiet, the storm begins to settle. And for the first time, you see what you truly feel. The Stoics called this retreating inward. No matter how chaotic the world is, you must have a quiet place inside. That's where your strength lives. The promises you make to yourself. If you break a promise to others, you lose reputation. If you break a promise to yourself, you lose self-respect. And when self-respect collapses, everything in life begins to shake. Make small promises to yourself. And keep them. Today, I will do this. Today, I will respect myself. Even if no one sees, you do. And being valuable in your own eyes matters more than being valued by the world. Rewrite your story. I'm always like this. I'm unlucky. I'm a failure. These aren't just words. They are commands to your mind. And the mind works to make them true. You may have suffered. But that is not who you are. It is only the road you walked. From today on, you can tell a new story. It hasn't happened yet, but it will. I'm growing. I'm on my way. Small changes in language create massive changes in the mind. And now, the forest. Imagine walking through a wet, silent forest after a storm. Two trees stand before you. One is beautiful, tall, admired by everyone, but its roots were shallow. The storm knocked it down. The other is crooked, cracked, not impressive, but it still stands, because its roots are deep. Strength does not grow in noise. It grows in depth. Words are branches. Silence is roots. The deeper your roots, the harder you are to knock down. From today on, remember, you don't have to explain everything. You don't have to share every emotion. You don't have to speak every thought. But every day, you must stand a little stronger. Speak less. Build more. And before every sentence, ask yourself, does this make me stronger or weaker? Because real power grows in silence.